Welcome back with another movie. As you can see, this time I have something quite bigger. It's not a review or any test. So one of the co-workers that I work with, a new guy, tagged with me that he have a drone that have a crash and one of the motors did not work. So what it is, it's a, let me rotate it, it's a Overmax X-bee 7.1. I never seen this drone. It's quite big. It doesn't seem like a normal toy. It's more like a professional or maybe half professional drone. So I can also see it is a barometer one. So you need to hold it like this to turn it on, and it will hold the attitude. Maybe it's also a GPS. No, this one probably this one is the barometer hold. So I know it's not a toy. So what's the history? It did fly outside, did not fly long because of the crash, and the drone flipped and landed on the roof, hitting with the motor, and just crashed. So he did turn it on. The three motors did turn on, this one didn't, and there was a smoke out of it, the circuit, probably something in here. So as far as I think is just the ESC, the board, probably a MOSFET or something like that, burned. So I told him just to bring it out and I will just see what happened, maybe be able to repair it. So the interesting thing is that there are pins on the cover. Something new, I never see something like that. Probably it's for the battery cover or something like that. Oh, there is a one on the back also. Interesting design. They never use a pins on the drone, so that's quite interesting. Oh man, there's some really big stuff in here. So oh, I can see this one is burned. It's a diode as far as I can see, and this one burned. So that may be a quite easy fix. It may be hard to show. Let me get something to show you. A screwdriver. Okay, so let me get the lamp closer. In here there is a probably diode that's passing through the voltage to the motor. So here is motor connected. There is a MOSFET or something like that take all the load and doesn't fry the board. And this diode, as far as I think, should just protect from short circuit or something like that. So as far as I can see, this diode is burned. It's totally damaged. And now I can of course get this diode, but I have no idea if the motor is working or not. So probably I will unsolder this this cable from the motors, test the motors, see if it's spinning and if it's working, and then I will know. I will just check on the other ones what the diode it is, what component. I may order this because it will be quite cheap. Also I need to take my microscopic glasses, just check the board surrounding it. I will need to unscrew it, test, see if anything else is damaged, like under the board maybe something is also damaged, and then I will just know what if that will only fix. That's interesting. It's look like acrylic, the supports. Huh, interesting. So as far as I can see, it's nothing very important in here, so probably that may be a easy fix. It's S04. Sorry, my eyes are not so good. I still wear magnifying glasses with the 3x magnified, but this will not allow me. Okay, so far this may be a very easy fix. I will just disconnect the lights. Probably this is the light, and I will need to unsolder this wires just to test the motor, and that's probably all. The interesting part is also with the propellers, and normally you will say it's like the DJI, so of course you just unscrew it, but nothing here. That will be too easy. You just take this out, and there is a metal, no, it's acrylic. That's interesting, but it is loose, and probably you just, as far as I can tell from the manual, you just twist it in one direction. Yes, it is loose now. I need to check the manual. I don't want to. Wait, there is a metal pin in here. Now if I need to. Wait, is there a? I don't want to damage this. I never seen such mount. Look like the pin should go out, maybe, and then just, yes, the pin going out, because I need to test it. Yes, you just pull it out. Very interesting, because most of the parts look like acrylic. That's very delicate. It's not, should not be so delicate on a drone like this, because the motors are brushed, so nothing too interesting maybe in here, but the drones look really good. I can see there is a crack in here, so not last very long. So far I don't see any major damage in here. That also should not be a giant problem in here. Okay, so we'll just turn off the camera, just unsolder the wires, test it, get the glasses, see this part, and I will just order this or see if I have it in my collection, but I don't think so. So I will take out the board and try to see what's under it, and is there any problem in there. So for this moment it's all. I'll just get back when I will have something more to show. Okay, so I did clean a little bit the circuit board. I try to show you as close as I can. So in here, between these 2 points, there is a diode like this one, and that's the overcurrent protection as far as I know. Sorry, the focus maybe not right. Maybe I can switch it. Maybe now. So it's connected between the motor minus and the motor plus. So it was so overheated that this piece of trace from the circuit board just melted and just disconnected. So now I'm not of course able to connect between these 2 points, because this one just got out with the diode, and this one just unconnected from the board. So I will need to just cut it in here just to have a piece of this. And now I will just probably just connect between this point and this point, or just between two connections of the board. So that's still a quite easy fix for this machine. Maybe it will not be so clean, so nice like this one, but it's still quite easy. Okay, so now I will show you about the motors. Okay, so I have my power supply set to 5 volts 3 amps, because I don't know on what voltage these motors work. And now here is the motor that damaged the board, and you can listen to this. It's a quite weird sound because the gears doesn't work really good. Maybe it's just because it's still a toy. You can also see about this board, because they never use normal type. It's always everything SMD. It's mounted on the surface, and here you have the old type sticking out parts like in the toys. So okay, so that's how this motor works. I also desoldered the next one just to test it if it's working the same. And the interesting part is that this motor is taking about 0.8 amps, and this one is taking only 0.6 amps. It's still not much difference, so that may mean that this one have a bit more difficult to turn, and it needs just a little bit more torque to run, but still that's not a big deal. So let me show you. I don't know if this may focus, but here is that diode that did break, overheat and break. So on one side, in this side, you can see a part of a trace. Also in here there is a part, and it just broke in my hands. So that must so overheat that this diode just disconnected from the board. Okay, so and this is as far as I can do. Probably I may not have a diode like this one, so I will need to order this one. It's just connected between 2 points of motor. So as far as I understand, when the motor stops, it's just not passing through all the current to the MOSFET. It's just passing it to the diode, and so probably the motor stuck or something like that, and this diode just got so much current that it just melted and just fallen apart. So still, it is quite easy fix. I just need to get this diode. I need to see if I have one, probably not like this one, and just connect it between these two motors, and this drone will still fly. So most of the fixes and stuff like that is so simple. Sometimes something just on solder, you just need to open it, see the board is. If you see something like this, you will just know that this drone just died. But mostly it's not too expensive to fix drones like that. Okay, so that's all for now. I will get back when I get this part. I will solder it and just test it. Of course I will need to take all the propellers out. I need to also see how this freaking part is mounted, and in what direction I need to rotate it. It's something new, and I never see something like that. My drone have a screw type, the normal screw type. Mostly is also like on the DJI, where you screw the whole propeller, and this is something new, and I still have no idea why they use so soft material like this. This will break like crazy probably, maybe you get some spares, because the box from this drone is twice the size of the drone and it's just giant. Okay, so that's all for now. I will just get back when I get something new in here. So it's about 2, maybe 3 weeks that I waited for the pass. By accident I did order wrong diodes, so I was not able to use it. After a while I wanted to order the new one. I did order normal ones. I know they are quite bigger than this one, but if this diode burn, I don't want to put another one on the circuit. I did wanted to have one in the air, just wrap it with the heat shrink. So that's why I did order a normal diode, not the one with the SMD mount. So now I will prepare everything for the solder, and I will probably solder it directly with the motors, or maybe I will scrap out a little bit of material and just solder it somewhere close, but I think I will just solder it directly. So also, if you are interested, this is the it's a current protection. So if this if motor will stall, the most of the current will go on the on this diode. Probably that's what happened. Probably the one of the motor was stopped by something. Something hit the propeller, and the diode just got so much current that it just burned. So that was probably the first thing. I think that was what happens. What happened. So now he will have some more if another one will break, and I will just solder this one. I will use silicone cables, wrap it with the heat shrink, and solder on the circuit. As you can see, I don't have any propellers on, because I will need to test it, and I don't want this drone to lift up. So that's why I don't have any propellers now. Okay, so let me prepare everything. Okay, so I did solder everything. I did solder these two motors wrong. It's red, black, or from this side is black, red. It's not like they mark it on the circuit board, because two motors are just reversed on both sides. I did connected battery. I don't like that plug, but I did connected it. Also, I did check the remote. There are still some batteries. If I not wrong, I will need to turn it on like this, holding to the center down, because it's with the barometer as far as I see, because this one is bouncing back. So okay, let's turn the radio. If something will burn, you will see that in the camera. And let's see. Turn on all the lights. Oh, I think the battery is dead, so I will need to check the batteries and replace if and charge it if needed. So I will get back in a few seconds. Okay, so this battery seems to be charged enough to test it. Let's try that again. Maybe I do something wrong. I will need to check the manual. Why this thing doesn't want to? It should be like this. Okay, let me check the manual for this. Oh, I did find out. You need to push the throttle up and down. So that's standard. Now let's see. Let's turn it on. Maybe I need to lift up. Wait, that's high-low launch. So all the motors now work, so it means this diode also are working. Let me try that again. Launch. Okay, now I will need to see what direction of the motors are. Let me turn it on again. Like this. You can see like this. You can see like this. Okay, so it seems that everything worked. Now I will put heat shrink on this diode, and if the weather let me, I will test it, but I need to tell him that some of the batteries are dead. This one is still okay. This one is puffed, so it's a little bigger in this spot. Also the third one is bigger, so I will test this, charge this one, because this one still look much better than the other ones. So also I really doesn't like these plugs, because both pins are just open. If something touch these two pins, this battery will catch the fire or explode. So the best solution for him will be to replace all the plugs for the, let's say, XT60 or DIN-T, because those two plugs are much more safe than this one. Okay, so now I will just put it together, and if the weather let me, I will test it out. So I am outside. It's slightly breeze from the direction where I'm filming now. I did assembly the drone. I put the covers on, but this cover is broken. I hope it will not hit the propeller when landing, but I just need to try it if it's still working or not. So I will just test it. Also I did put inside this a SD card in this camera, and we'll see how this will work. Okay, so let's go. Nothing. Okay, so it's flying, so the wind is behind me, that's why it was wiggling so much, but it is working, so that's all.